Hi friends, it's Deep Basu and welcome to my channel Think Deep. I am back once again and I'm going to review the latest film on Netflix called Sardar Ka Grandson. And I believe this movie released on a Thursday and I'm a day late for my review. I'm really sorry about that, and I wonder why did the makers decide to release this film on a midweek instead of a Friday or a weekend, because on a Thursday it was a midweek and I was really busy. So yesterday late night I managed to watch the film and thought of reviewing it. So come to the story of Sardar Ka Grandson. If you have watched the trailer carefully, it's quite self-explanatory. So the entire movie revolves around Neena Gupta, who plays the character Sardar Kaur. She's a 90-year-old lady, a grandmother, and she has a loving grandson called Amrik, played by Arjun Kapoor. So Sardar Kaur is suffering from a very critical tumor, and she has only few days to live. So she wants to travel to Lahore and wants to see her house for the one last time. So before partition, she and her husband used to live in Lahore as new. It's a very common scenario of many of her grandmothers and grandfathers, isn't it? So pre-partition, she was married and she used to live in Lahore. She had a very happy life with with her husband. But due to some unforeseen circumstances, her husband was murdered and she had to forcefully leave Lahore and come and stay in Amritsar. So since doctors have given an ultimatum, she has only few days to live. So she wants to visit Lahore and see her house for the one last time. But since doctors have not permitted her any kind of leave, or she's not allowed to travel, so the entire responsibility comes to her loving grandson called Amrik, Arjun Kapoor, and he decides to get the same house to Amritsar. Now, how will that happen? So this movie also talks about structural relocation. Frankly speaking, I had no clue about structural relocation, and after watching the film, I did Google, and this thing is real. Means, for example, if you want, like I always heard about movers and packers. If you're moving to a new house, you can always hire a good, efficient movers and packers. They can do the needful. They can transfer your luggage and your entire furniture to one place to another. But structural relocation is they are they are group of people, a company which will help you to move your house from one city to another city, from one country to another country. Means they have a jack, like with the help of a jack, they elevate the house and they put it on a wheel, a very huge constructed wheel, like a luggage is on a wheel, like a trolley, and they can move your house from one country to another. So that's how Arjun Kapoor takes the help of his girlfriend Radha, played by Rakul, Preet. Her company does this structural relocation. So with the help of Radha's company, he decides to bring the house of Sardar Kaur to Amritsar. So that's the entire story of Sardar Ka Grandson. So the premise is pretty fresh. I love the premise, I love the plot. But unfortunately, as an audience, the entire movie is a letdown because of sloppy execution, sloppy writing, bad acting, bad dialogues. This movie could have been one of the best films of this year. And John Abraham being the producer, I was really hoping a lot. But frankly speaking, the entire movie I didn't quite like it. I won't even suggest that this movie is a watchable film. The entire screenplay is really bad. The movie begins on a very bad note, very boring note. The characters are not very real. The dialogues are not very real. This entire plot should only rest on emotional quotient, because it involves a dadi, a 19-year-old dadi who has few days to live. She wants to go to Lahore to see a house for the last time. So this movie should have a lot of emotional quotient. But frankly speaking, emotional quotient is missing in the film. Zero emotional quotient. Not even one frame, one sequence. I feel like crying. And that's the reason this movie is a total letdown. And on top of that, Arjun Kapoor, my God, sometimes he hams, man. Sometimes he overacts. But I will still say this entire premise was very fresh. Structural relocation, first time in Bollywood. I don't even remember seeing a Hollywood film showcasing such concept. So the overall concept was very good. Kashfi Nair is a writer of, has written few good films, so I'm sure this is her idea, and she has conceived it very well. But frankly speaking, this movie is a total letdown. The songs are good by Tanix Bakchi, but overall, I was really hoping a emotional ride. I really wanted to cry towards the end when Sardar Kaur visits a house. The house is finally, finds what he reaches Amritsar. Sardar Kaur visits a house, but unfortunately, I was not emotional and I was pretty angry watching a 2 hour 20-minute film. The characters, the dialogues, unnecessary they have made Kumar Mishra a villain. Unnecessary that villainous expression, that unreal scenarios. We don't need a villain out here. Maybe there'll be certain frictions. Unnecessary they have incorporated a character, Kumar Mishra's character, who's a villain, who's trying to stop their plan, and it is so unreal. And the entire structure relocation, when I Google, it takes a lot of time. It needs a map out. It needs a lot of work. But Arjun Kapoor is like a Superman, and Radha, they do it so easily. They just come, they prepare a map, they elevate the house, and they just take it. Means if they had to put any kind of friction, they could have done it in the entire process. Unnecessarily, they have incorporated a villain. The acting is bad. The entire, basically, the script, the screenplay is the entire letdown. This movie could have been the best film of this year. Trust me, the concept is really fresh. Anyway, guys, this is my review for Sardar Ka Grandson. I'm sure most of you have already watched it. But if you have not, watch it at your own risk. I don't know how many of you love watching Arjun Kapoor's films. Arjun Kapoor's last movie was pretty good. That one, Divakar Banerjee's film. Pinky Farar Hue. I'm forgetting the name. That movie is a must watch. It's on Netflix. Directed by Divakar Banerjee. I strongly recommend this movie. Watch it. And I've already reviewed the film. You can check one of my vlogs. So guys, this is my review for Sardar Ka Grandson, and anything I'm missing out. Neena Gupta, in terms of performance, was okay. But somewhat I didn't quite like the character of Neena Gupta. I didn't feel, as I said, not only emotional, I didn't want to love her. Means usually when I watch such dramas, I feel for the grandmother. It reminds me of my grandmother. But Neena Gupta's character was somewhat annoying. I found her a little selfish, and I didn't quite feel for this grandmother's character. And even Neena Gupta has done a fair job. So overall, this is my review for Sardar Ka Grandson. Do watch it at your own risk. I'll be back again with a new movie. And so have a great weekend, have a good Friday, and stay safe. Goodbye.